So, hello and welcome to the 343 preview show. Today, I am joined by Shubhayan, Shugato, and Riddhiman, and we're gonna discuss about the match day two of the semifinals. That is the match between Denmark and England. The the previous round or the quarterfinal had been quite a phenomenal one with the predictions meeting our expectations. So, starting off with the England side, if anyone can throw a light upon this.
So the English side had a comprehensive quarterfinal victory over the Ukrainian side with a 4-0 victory, and they would preferably go with the team that they went in the quarterfinals. They have been phenomenal throughout the tournament without conceding any goals. And so about the Denmark team, if anybody can.
Denmark versus Czech Republic was a very highly touted matchup in the last round because of basically the both teams being very evenly matched. In the match was also pretty tense for the most part. In the first half, Denmark played some really great football. They uh, got off to a 2-0 lead, but right after halftime, Czech Republic answered with one of their own, and from then the game became a little bit more cagey. So Denmark would have ideally wanted to carry more momentum into this matchup against the highly touted England team. But overall, I guess they would be very pleased with the performance, especially having come this far after suffering a tragedy in their opening match.
Yeah, one of the most important questions that Gareth Southgate is facing is that which formation to play, because Denmark is going to be after Germany one of the most free-flowing teams that they are going to face in the tournament thus far. And in case of Germany, we saw that he tried to match Germany's formation by playing three at the back and with Saka, Sterling, and Kane up front. But and if he tries to revert back to that back, then he has one more selection question whether to start Sancho, Saka, and or Foden, because I guess Saka was out with a knock and he is doubtful for the semi-finals whether he has recovered fully or not. In that case, he has two options: one is Sancho and other is Foden. So it is an interesting question: which one among them will start?
For me, it
Uh,
is a gut feeling that England will start with a four-man back because Denmark is a free-flowing team, as Shubhayan mentioned. And the likes of Male and Larson along the wings are to be looked out for, and they have been quite impressive along the whole tournament. Also, the likes of Damsgaard and Brathwaite have been impressive in the last few matches, especially Brathwaite in the last matches, how he created chances and help the team to score past. Talking of the Denmark side, if we can talk about the forward who will start, I think it will be Yusuf Poulsen who will start in place of Dolberg because first of all he is an experienced player, and second of all you need a physical presence in the box which is fulfilled by Poulsen, which is not that much fulfilled by Dolberg because he is primarily he is very young, and secondly he doesn't have that physical strength to match up with Harry Maguire and John Stones.
I guess my read would be this match is a very tricky matchup for England because uh, being this crucial stage, Gareth Southgate might be tempted to go with the more pragmatic approach. However, I guess my opinion is a pragmatic approach would certainly spell disaster because Denmark are a very aggressive side. They are not afraid to press. They play very high intensity football, and they are not afraid to switch it up with occasional long balls from the likes of Højbjerg, who finds the overlapping fullbacks up front quite often. So letting Denmark have the ball might spell a lot of trouble because all of the Denmark team members have been firing this tournament on and off. Mikkel Damsgaard and Thomas Delaney were exceptional in the last match. Also, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. So a lot of onus, I guess, would be on the likes of Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice to stymie the Denmark midfield. They have to make a lot of challenges and win a lot of physical duels to keep the Denmark midfield at bay. And if they can control the intensity that is shown by Denmark, then I guess England have a better chance.
The English team have been greatly benefited by the form of both Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw has been, especially has been terrific form, both going up front and also as a defender. And in the Danish front, one person who would definitely have a key role in the match would be Kasper Schmeichel, whose goalkeeping abilities would highly be tested, and he could well be the game changer in that match.
England haven't conceded a goal till now in the tournament, but there is one negative aspect of this also, because coming into the semi-finals and they might, and there is a great chance of them progressing to the finals. They haven't yet faced a situation where they are trailing a goal and playing under pressure, because all the matches till now they have been in control on or off the ball. So that might be crucial. If Denmark can get an early goal, England would be under pressure.
The English defense, there are not a lot of indicators to say that the England defense has any problems to worry about. All of them have looked decently solid. Also, the defensive midfielders from England have stepped up to the plate. However, there are some avenues of worry concerning the England attack. They are not known to be the most aggressive of teams at among the all the teams that are played in the tournament. And if they rely on a counter-attacking style of football, I think that might play into the hands of the Danish, and England might make their job harder for themselves by opting a more pragmatic approach.
For me, the key duels to be looked out for that how Kyle Walker stops Male and Damsgaard along the wings. Like the late runs that Male makes along the wings, how Kyle Walker could stop that and do not let him pass the ball or lob any crosses to the forwards.
Yeah, but aerially with the centre backs that England have, with Maguire and Stones both being good in the air, I think Denmark would face difficulties in scoring goals through the aerial route.
Yeah, the traditionally Denmark have relied on their fullbacks to create opportunities, swing in crosses which have been knocked into the goals. As we saw in the last match, they scored from a set piece. However, England centre backs have the aerial superiority and also the physical superiority. So that avenue of goal scoring might be a little bit difficult. It will be interesting to see what alternative avenue Denmark can come up with to score.
One of the key duels that would be looked forward in the match would be the English forward line consisting of Kane, Sterling, and one of Sancho or Foden or Saka, and the Danish defense consisting of Simon Kjær, Christensen, and Vestergaard. Both Christensen and Vestergaard have quite had an experience in the Premier League, and so their experience could come into the fore defending against the likes of the English attackers.
One more thing is that against the English right winger, it may be Sancho or Foden. Most of them have pace. So if Joachim Mahale moves forward with the ball and England can hit them on the counter, Yannick Vestergaard plays on the left, is the left-sided centre back for them, and he being a very tall and well-built man, he lacks pace, which we have seen against Southampton. So that might be a cause of concern for Denmark if Sancho can hit them at full pace and swing in some crosses for Kane.
Also, I would like to add a point that Shugato said that also the English goalkeeper has not been tested in this whole tournament quite a lot, because we haven't seen so much of Pickford. This is mainly because of the defenders, right? The English defenders have been very pivotal in their role, so that helped him not to face any difficult situations or something like that. So it will be a good test for Pickford also.
England can definitely capitalize on gaps they find on the left side of the Danish defense. However, alternatively, if Denmark can neutralize Raheem Sterling, that also effectively neutralizes Harry Kane to some extent. If Sterling cannot get in behind on the in gaps created, then Kane has to drop deep and he'll get less chances to score. So it will be interesting to see uh, what kind of pressure the Danish defense decides to put on Sterling, because Sterling has been known to bottle in crunch matches in the past.
So coming to the predictions, England have a great chance of breaking the semi-final jinx that they have been suffering since in the 2018 World Cup and also in the Nations League. So I would predict a 2-0 victory for the English side with Harry Kane and Sterling scoring the goals.
I really loved the less pragmatic, more aggressive approach that England finally decided to adopt in their last match. It was very encouraging to see. Also, England have a very strong bench, which will be very difficult to deal with for Denmark. So, England have their best chance of progressing to the finals in a long time, and I think they'll capitalize on it. I predict a 2-1 win for England.
For me, it will be a 2-1 win for England, and finally England conceding a goal. And England conceding a goal against Denmark and moving on to the finals.
I would predict a 2-0 win for England with the 4-man backline or a 5-man backline with 2 men protecting them would be too much for the Danish attackers to score.
So that's it for today. We'll be back again with the finals of the Euro 2020. If you like this video, do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and also do comment your predictions down below. So till then, stay safe and have a nice day. Thank you.
Also, watch out for watch out for this channel, because we might have some interesting content for you coming before the final. So stay tuned and enjoy the games, guys.